All right, well, we're in. We're accepted for the high class trash build off. So we got to get these things put together for Memorial Day in 2027. So thanks to Jeremiah Gardner for putting everything together. It's a glorious fall day in central Pennsylvania. So our job is going to be take that truck and put it on that truck. It's kind of weird, the perspective looking at these things, because that thing is so obnoxious with the sleeper cab on it. You wouldn't think that we're going to be able to do this at all. But here's kind of my plan. We're going to take that truck. We're going to actually take the whole cab and we're going to make the cab 6 inches wider. And then we're going to take the fenders and make the fenders 3 inches wider. And that'll make up the foot difference between the track width on that one and the track width on that one. And that way we can also squeeze that 6.6 Duramax underneath that hood. So is it a lot of work? Yeah. Do we have time to do it? Yeah. Is it a lot of work? Probably way more than I even can fathom right at the moment. So I put them next to each other right here just for a little bit of a visual, and I'm gonna take you in there, show you the differences between the two and what we're gonna have to work with. So today I'm just gonna work on ripping some of the stuff off of that one, the cab, the doors, the hood, the fenders, so that I can take those over to the garage, because we're just at the storage lot right now, and I don't really have anything here to do the work with. So we're just gonna disassemble here. Then what we're going to try and do is make up some money, because there's a budget, right? $7,500 for the build off. So that truck I bought for 600 bucks, but it came with a whole bunch of extra parts, and I sold those parts already for 600 bucks. So that's a $0 truck right now. But I'm also going to sell the chassis of that whenever it's off. This one here, we're keeping the chassis, and we can sell the hood, the fenders, the lights, the grill, the bumper, the sleeper cab, the actual cab. So there's a lot of money that can come back out of that one. That one I bought for $5,000 off of Marketplace. Our budget for this build is $7,500. So we're still in the clear, and we got a lot of parts to sell. So I think we're going to be good. But anyways, so thanks for coming back. I'm going to start ripping into that one. But before I do that, let me just kind of show you the wheelbase and the track width and things like that, so we can get a plan together. So again, super excited, looking forward to the build off with everybody else, and I don't know, let's just get busy. All right, again, here is our donor cab. Here's our donor chassis. This is a 2005 Chevy 3500, and we're going to be taking all of that off. Sleeper cab's gone, hood, fenders, everything off of this one. Going onto this one, you can see how narrow this cab is, and we are going to have to make that match this a little bit better. So my plan is, what we're going to do is we're going to do a lot of work to this. What I plan on doing is adding 6 inches to the middle of the hood so that we can make that wider, so we can actually cut the cab and make that wider, because these old 40s Chevy pickups were very, very narrow. You can see how narrow the track width is here compared to that one. So we do have to at minimum make the fenders wider, but I just want to make the cab wider, because if we're driving this thing all the way to Mississippi on that chassis in 2027, we're going to want a little bit more room for ourselves in there. So we need some creature comforts for our rat rod here. But I did this, I pulled them next to each other just so I could kind of get a visual here. It's going to be kind of hard to tell, but I pulled them axle to axle. You can see we got them lined up here. So lining the rear wheels up and coming to the front, which is going to be really hard to demonstrate. But if you look at our front fender there and our wheel on the other truck, they line up pretty much exactly even. So I've got the front ends even there, you can see. So that's cool that we have a match there. So we're going from a 1945 1 ton to a 2005 1 ton. What I'm going to do is bob that right there, and that's gone. Oh, that can be sold as well, so that's extra dollars. Anyways, I mentioned it before in other videos. What we're going to do is make a crew cab out of this. So we're taking those two cabs, mashing them together for a 4-door truck here. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. This thing here, the Duramax, runs awesome. It's already emissions delete. Sounds pretty cool. Looks like it's going to be an awesome rig to run underneath this one, but we got a long way to go. So first things first, got to tear all this stuff off so we can actually get it to the garage to do some work on it. And then actually start some fabrication. I don't know when I'm going to get to disassembling this one, but at least I want to get this stuff off of here so I can go into the other garage, and then maybe even sell that chassis. So what I'm going to do is probably time lapse right now and start tearing some stuff off of here. All right, well, here you go. About an hour and 15 minutes later, we got this pile of stuff. That's our front clip off of that guy. Boy, you really can see how narrow that is now that the clip's off of there. Goodness gracious. That's not even, that's not even reasonably close. Oh boy. All right, so yeah, we're in for it. So like I mentioned before, what we're gonna need to do is, I'm thinking I'm gonna add 6 inches right in the middle of that, so 6 inches right down the middle of that, 6 inches in the cab, so we're wider, 3 inches on the fender, so 3 plus 3 plus 6, we've got our foot of difference between this one and that one. Then we can cram the Duramax in there. So got everything disconnected for the most part. This thing here is pretty crusty from the fire, so I didn't even try messing with this. Not even like a will it run. We know we need a coil, a bunch of other stuff. We can come back maybe and do that some other time. But I'm going to continue disconnecting things from the cab here, disconnect the cab from the frame. We'll come in here. Got a bunch to do in here as well, just you know, disassembly type stuff. Floor is going to be basically all this is coming out, so gas tank will come out, this seat frame will come out, because I think I'm going to run the seats from that thing over there in this one. So again, making it wider will help in all sorts of ways, especially for me being 6'5". Anyways, so that was a bunch of work. Anyways, good progress though for, you know, an hour's worth of work on this thing. So we'll save these bits, clean them up a little bit. We got some work to do on the fenders and all the stuff. So I'm going to clean up here for a minute, arrange things a little bit, and contemplate life decisions based on the fact I'm going to try and take that thing and put it on that thing. So anyways, that's an update. I'll be back after it here in a moment. All right, well, here we are another hour later. We got our crew cab open up, and we did a lot of getting rid of stuff. So gas tank gone. Gas tank gone. This one, holy smokes, it may have been filled with something that was flammable like 30 years ago, but that smelled really bad. Also, the rat nest here doesn't help. Cleaned up, got rid of a bunch of wiring and garbage and all sorts of stuff. Garbage bag full of stuff. Pulled the one coolant line off of this that went to the heater and just looped it on itself. I think I might try that, like, you know, will it run kind of deal at some point, just to see if we can fire that inline 6 up. But anyways, just lots of cleaning, lots of not fun stuff to either do or record. But anyways, it's looking good. I think it's going to be pretty sweet. I mean, if you can use your imagination and check that thing out as a crew cab rolling down the road with a 6.6 Duramax in it, I think it's pretty sweet. So anyways, I am probably going to call it here soon and get some lunch. So anyways, there's that. That's not a bad morning, early afternoon kind of deal. So I'll keep at it here for a little bit, then I'll go grab some lunch, etc. So anyways, that was my morning. Hope everybody's having a good weekend, and I'll clean up and catch you later when I got some more work done. All right, well, it's officially the end of Sunday, and we did get a good bit of work done today. So I'm going to flip the camera around here, kind of show you what we did. But pretty much got the cabs emptied out, got the garbage out, all that kind of stuff. So they're pretty close to being ready to be lifted off of the chassis here. So let me just show you kind of what the afternoon was here. All right, so we got them all cleaned up, got them vacuumed out. I used the leaf blower part of the vacuum just to clean the crud out. Looks pretty good. I think what I'm going to do is ultimately, this floor is pretty solid. I'll cut this out. Maybe somebody on eBay wants that. Maybe somebody watching this wants that. Got another one here that matches. They're both actually really solid underneath where the gas tank was once you removed all the crud. Still got some stuff to do under the dash, pull the dash out, but I don't know if that's going to happen here or that's going to happen at the other garage. Anyways, they're empty. This one is not attached. This one can be lifted off at any moment. Have to unbolt this one, and then it's ready to go. So that was my Sunday. Got a lot of work done on this, and I think I'm just going to leave front end sitting right here. But yeah, I think it's going to look pretty badass with a crew cab on there with suicide doors and wide body kind of modification to that so that we can fit this turd underneath. But Dirty Max sounds pretty good when you start it up and run it, so I'm excited about that. But it's going to look extra super duper cool with this on the front of it. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm leaving this one. Just wanted an update of all the cleanup and the preparations for our build off. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Thanks again to Jeremiah for letting me partake in this whole thing. Should be pretty epic. Can't wait to meet everybody there. And that's it. I'm shutting her down for today. Catch you guys next time. All right, well, the last thing I'm going to do before we lose the light, because it was a very productive day, I found this box of plugs that was in the truck. It got roached. They were pulled when I picked this vehicle up. But I rebuilt them, remanufactured them on the wire wheel in the shop. So I'm just going to fill the cylinders with the acetone and transmission fluid. I'm going to pull the carburetor off because before I get rid of this chassis, I would like to get this running so that maybe somebody who is interested in it would have a running, driving chassis minus the cab. So I'm going to do that before it's dark and then button this up for the weekend. And then get back after it, hopefully in the near future. So I'm just going to do this quick and let it soak, let it marinate for a few days, maybe a week or two, I don't know. Pull the carburetor, I'll fill that side as well, then cover the engine up and call it a night. So I'm going to do that quick and get moving. All right, let's do it.